Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Grip, live in Washington, D.C. I'll tell you about a conversation I had with the president coming up in just a minute.
A suspect arrested in Oklahoma for the murder of a Pensacola bank manager is behind bars in Florida tonight. And a training exercise in Texas kills 3 National Guardsmen. Hi, I'm Nancy Pierce. Action News 10 is coming up next.
Number 1 on the Gulf Coast. You're watching WALA Channel 10. This is Action News 10 at 5 p.m.
It is a happy ending for more than 25 puppies who were dropped off and left to fend for themselves. And 3 kids find a fossilized egg that could be right out of Jurassic Park. Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy Pierce. Bob Grip is on special assignment in Washington, D.C. tonight, and he joins us now live from a Washington bureau. Hi, Bob. It's good to see you.
Hi. Good to hear from you, Nancy.
I'm sure you've had an exciting day meeting with some of the nation's top officials, including the Vice President and the President.
That's right. We just raced up to this rooftop in Washington, D.C. just a few minutes ago. We just finished our meeting with the president about 20 minutes ago. Ran up here, and the main thing I tried to talk to him about, I had a chance to ask a couple of questions. The main thing I wanted to get at was the home port. Of course, the president has been trying to push a new economic policy now that the controversy over gays in the military is apparently over and the FBI director, the designate, has been named. I wanted to know about the home port, how the people in southern Alabama could believe the federal government when on one hand it opens a brand new Navy base in Mobile and then a couple of years later decides to shut the whole thing down. I asked him about that and he said it was very regrettable that it had to be done, but he said the planning for that started way before the Cold War ended. He said it was just something that couldn't be foreseen. However, he said the federal government will play a role in helping convert the home port site into something else. He didn't talk about getting rid of the base closure and alignment recommendations at all. Apparently he's going to go through with those. So apparently he did offer some hope to the people of Mobile that there will be some federal help coming to help convert the home port to civil use.
Well, so that is a little good news. Now, Bob, did you get to meet with the president one-on-one, or was this a big group situation?
This was a group, but it was a very small group. There were a number of journalists from Alabama, a couple of TV reporters from Birmingham and Montgomery, some newspaper people, and but it was a very small group, and we were very lucky to have just a very few people there with him.
Was it exciting for you?
Oh, it was exciting, and plus I had a chance to ask him about the nomination of Herman Thomas, who is, as you know, is being nominated to be the U.S. Attorney to succeed Jeff Sessions, and I'll tell you about his answer tonight at 6 o'clock.
Oh, we are definitely looking forward to that. Well, we're glad you're there, but we also miss you here, so we'll talk to you at 6, okay?
Okay, see you then.
All right. Well, this was a busy day in Washington, D.C. for Action News 10's Bob Grip, who spent the day in briefings with government officials. Bob joins us now live by satellite from the Capitol. Bob, how'd it go?
Very well, Nancy. Thank you. You know, the administration really had only one reason to invite us here to Washington, and that was to push its economic policy. It knows that Southern votes will be crucial, and it's looking for every single one. Now, one of the many officials I spoke with today was Vice President Al Gore, and I told him that Mobile business people in particular were very concerned about more than just the economic plan. Take a listen to what I asked him.
About was what kind of cost would be involved with health care, and they were afraid that whatever cost might increase in health care would offset whatever savings they might benefit.
Well, that's a totally separate program, the design of which has not been determined yet. So the choice we have to make as a country is on our economic program. Later on this year, we will have a health care plan that will be judged on its own merits. We believe that it will be very favorably received by the business community and by the country as a whole.
Well, as you heard, he wants the economic plan considered by itself. The Mobile people want the whole Clinton plan, the economy and the health plan considered at the same time, so there's a bit of a difference of opinion there. Nancy?
Well, Bob, now we're all interested in the nomination of Judge Herman Thomas to be the new U.S. Attorney of the Southern District in Alabama. What'd you hear about that today?
Okay, I spoke personally with the president about Herman Thomas's nomination. He said once the FBI background checks are completed on all the U.S. attorney candidates, the name comes to him from Attorney General Janet Reno, and he said he will approve it once it reaches that stage. He said Herman Thomas's name had not yet crossed his desk, but he said he would immediately check on it. In fact, he repeated Herman Thomas's name back to me, and so I believe he was sincerely listening, and he will indeed check on it. So perhaps Herman Thomas and the rest of Southern Alabama will hear more about the nomination of Herman Thomas as U.S. Attorney in just a few days. Nancy?
All right, Bob, so it's a full day for you.
Very full, very full, and it's not over.
We'll hear more from you tonight.
Right.
All right, thank you, Bob. Well, power politics, that is the game in Washington, D.C. during the next few weeks as Clinton White House tries to pass its deficit-cutting, tax-raising budget. Now, since it expects a tough fight, it is going all out to win support. That's why Action News 10's Bob Grip spent the day at the White House to talk with the president, the vice president, and other top administration officials. Bob joins us live once again at the Capitol. Bob.
All right, thanks, Nancy. You know, the president knew this is going to be a very tough fight coming up with the Senate and the House over the budget, and that's why we were invited in part to Washington to hear what the administration had to say, and here's a little bit of what I heard today. The White House trotted out one official after another to push its economic program. Deputy Treasury Secretary Roger Altman to say under the Democratic plan, most families will only have to pay an extra $1 a week in new taxes, that the rich will bear most of the burden. We heard promises of 82,000 new jobs for Alabama over the next 5 years, without many specifics. The White House knows its message may be a tough sell in the Deep South. Of course, you remember Alabama didn't vote for Bill Clinton during the last election. And in fact, there's a lot of suspicion of federal government in the Deep South. And the White House realizes it's important to build bridges to the conservative South if it wants to see its economic package fly. I asked Mac McClarty, the president's chief of staff, about this lack of trust and what can be done to restore it.
This is a credible deficit reduction plan. And I honestly believe, and Gene Sperling, who has worked very hard on this plan, as have others, we'll see that trend line start to come down in a measurable way. And I think that's when people begin to believe, one step at a time, that now we have things moving in a more sound direction. And that's how you restore credibility and make people believe this government's trying to work and serve them.
Late this afternoon, I asked the president about a Mobile issue that makes local folks skeptical about the big plans that come from Washington.
Mr. President, in our area in southern Alabama, in Mobile, people have said, you know, the economic plan, we'd like to support it, but on the other hand, we see the federal government do things like build a brand new home port and then within a couple of years decide to close something that hasn't really had a chance to even rust. How do you instill confidence?
You mean because of the base closing operation?
Yes, exactly.
Well, let me say, first of all, I can't either defend or criticize every particular decision of the Base Closing Commission. I have to tell you that they have a very difficult job. What ought to be done is the government should have a significant burden to work with the people of Alabama to figure out what can be done to turn that to a valuable commercial use. How can this be used to create jobs and opportunity for Alabama? How can this be turned into a real asset for your state?
Now, the president told me he knows the Democratic plan isn't perfect, but he says at least it's a plan. He claims the Republican alternative sponsored by Senator Bob Dole is just too vague to be worth anything.
Now, he's also upset about the lack of support from Alabama Senator Richard Shelby, right?
That's a very sore spot all over the White House. The president would like to develop a good relationship with Shelby, but so far the two have not been able to see eye to eye on anything, and perhaps that won't improve because ever since Senator Shelby started standing up to Bill Clinton, Shelby's popularity in Alabama has really gone through the roof, so it doesn't appear there's any reason for Shelby to want to get along with Bill Clinton, at least at this point. And by the way, I tried to contact Senator Shelby tonight to see if he would come on live with us perhaps, or at least on tape, and I was told that he was unavailable for comment this evening.
All right, thank you, Bob. Well, you get a good night's sleep, and we will see you tomorrow.
All right.